This man here is proof that while we honor greatness in this country and in this world, we often forget about goodness. This man here had a wife who was a hellfire preacher. They sustained a dozen people in the community. And most of these people you'd walk right by without noticing. They were the poor. They were the downtrodden. As I've been thinking about this video, there's one story that stands out for me. I was 16, and this Latino girl came in to church. She wasn't much older than me, maybe a few years. She had 3 young daughters, young pretty things. The youngest one could have been over 5, and the oldest one could have been over 5. And she also had a black eye. My mother talked to her, even though my mother couldn't speak Spanish and she can hardly speak English. Found out that her husband was beating her. She came and told the story to my father. Well, right before we came into church, my father was given a shut-off notice for the electricity. He hoped the collection plate would be kind, so he could keep the bills paid up enough to keep a roof over his 5 kids' heads. And the $40 I remember was a pretty good day at the collection plate. He was happy. Then my mom came with this Latino girl, told her story. My father reached into the envelope with the shut-off notice, pulled out the $40, handed it to this young lady, and said, "God will provide." She assumed that he was talking to her. He was talking to himself. It was money he couldn't afford to give to help someone he'd never met before. That's the legacy of my father. The legacy of my father is he's a survivor. He's legally blind in both eyes from an early age. Went to school at a time when no matter how smart, no matter if you had a disability, they warehoused you. They treated you like you don't matter. So he had to spend every day proving that he did matter. My father has been run over by a truck. A truck hit him, and he was listening to his shoe. And the funny thing is, the truck driver was losing his mind. What am I supposed to do? Call the police. Well, you got a dime. It's a funny story. But the aftermath of that is they had to glue the pieces of his bone together on his leg with rebar. Check out this one leg. See that, the size of that sole? That's 1.5 inches bigger than the sole on the other leg. He's been shot. He's had dozens of surgeries. And he will not stop. He's 76. Look at the difference in legs. He's starting to slow down. He was just on the ladder. He told me something yesterday that was wrong. Like, you got to get a picture of me on the ladder. They won't believe it. You need sympathy. Pops, your story isn't a story of sympathy. You give more than you have. You won't let somebody tell you what to do. You do what you like and what you feel is necessary. And you have more concern with other people than you do for yourself. This isn't a story of sympathy. If anything, most of us looking in would find ourselves wanting, find ourselves saying, we wish we had that spirit. We wish we could give it all away. Go beyond what we can pay, what we can do. Instead, we take care of ourselves and hope that there's enough in there around to take care of others. You don't inspire sympathy, Pops. You're far greater than that. And unfortunately, though, you're a good person. And too many people are willing to take advantage of the good. And that's why you are in the mess that you're in. But if people see this message, they will know you are deserving. You, for everything that you give, for everything that you've been, you're deserving to get back. I believe that. And that's why I believe this message will resonate with people. You're the most deserving person that I've ever met. I love you, Pops. I definitely want nothing but the best.